It is indeed a very good afternoon wherever you are. I really appreciate you taking time to join us right here on KBC Lunchtime News on the 7th day of September 2020, as we are going to be exploring stories that have been shaping the news in Kenya and beyond borders. A day when there seems to be an area of hope in our country. We seem to be, recording fewer cases of COVID-19, as at yesterday, 83 cases were reported. Showing that the positivity rate has dropped to 2.6%. But as we speak this particular day, KMPDU is raising concern over the increase of the cases of COVID-19 across other counties as opposed to Nairobi. We'll be looking at this particular story and how the trajectory of the COVID-19 curve is taking shape in the country and globally right here in our comprehensive news bulletin. Welcome on board. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma, and our sign language interpreter is Simon Karotha. We now want to kickstart with a story that we have been following up for you. And this particular morning, Tharaka Nithi Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI surrendered himself at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. This comes just following a directive by the Director of Public Prosecution, who ordered his arrest over the irregular award of a 34 million shillings tender. We have our reporter Kevin Washira, who has been there at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, just following up on the probe that is currently going on. We just want to get an update from you, Washira. A very good afternoon. What is currently happening? What have you been able to gather with regards to these particular accusations against the governor?
Thank you, Serfine. A very cold afternoon here at Integrity Center. These are the offices of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. As you can see behind me, journalists are camped outside the offices because Tharaka Nithi Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI is currently being grilled in those offices. The Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI arrived here very early in the morning, and he's been held inside there with 16 other county officials. Now, Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI is being grilled over an irregular award of tender amounting to 34.9 million shillings. The tender was for supply and installment of a solid waste management incinerator. Now, the DPP on Friday issued the arrest warrant saying he has sufficient evidence to prosecute Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI because he says the tender was awarded without the county did not do impact assessment as required by the law. And the DPP also says that the issuance of the tender is questionable because 7 companies, most of which are associated to Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI, bid for the tender, and which was eventually awarded to Westomax Limited. That is the company that was given the tender. Now, according to the DPP, the company that was given the tender submitted fraudulent document but still won the tender. Now, these are the questions that Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI and other 16 county officials are answering inside the building behind me, the Integrity Center. Ours is to keep an eye when they come out. We will be here to give you live briefing in case they will be doing any. So far, that's the information we have from here at EACC offices. Back to you, Serfine.
All right, of course, we'll be expecting an update as you get new information, Kevin Washira, later on, but he's tracking a story that is touching on the case against Tharaka Nithi Governor MUTHOMI NJUKI. Today, he is at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption, just being probed over an alleged irregular award of a tender that is worth about 34 million shillings that was issued to Westomax Investment Limited. And according to what Washira is telling us, is that this particular company is accused of submitting fraudulent documents while receiving this particular tender. We will be giving you details about that as we proceed. Now we want to focus on matters health. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union is raising concern over the increase in COVID-19 cases in counties. This development comes as Nairobi and Mombasa continue to record decreasing coronavirus cases. At the same time, the union wants the government to fulfill its pledge of provision of comprehensive medical insurance and compensation for medics who have lost their lives in the wake of the pandemic. They have also renewed the pressure for the establishment of a health service commission to address the challenges encountered by medics in the country.
There was an advisory given by the World Health Organization Kenya office last week. There's the challenges of testing. Those who are being tested, are they high risk or low risk? There's of course the issue of major tests being conducted in Nairobi, Mombasa, and the counties around Nairobi. And our testing capacity in the counties is yet to be optimal. So we have had suboptimal testing in the various parts of the country. It is now becoming increasingly clear that the cases are now beginning to rise in the other counties that did not have a high disease burden. So that remains a situation to be monitored, and focus needs to shift now to the other areas. To this pandemic, the government of Kenya is yet to fulfill its pledge on the provision of comprehensive medical insurance for the frontline workers and compensation for those who have lost their lives. The only solution to a standardized and centralized management of human resources for health is the creation of a health services commission. And as we said, this shall bring and unite all healthcare workers, unions, associations.
All right, we now want to take you to the corridors of justice to follow up on the cases that are happening today. And among those cases involved, one touching on the businessman Chris Obure, who today moved to the court to challenge the murder charge against him. Obure is expected to answer to one count of murder alongside his bodyguard, Robert Bondo. We now have our reporter, Serfine Achieng Ouma, on standby just to give us an update on this particular case and others that she has been following up on today.
Want to make test? Yeah. Indeed, a very good afternoon. We're coming to you live from the Milimani Law Courts, whereby we are following up on a number of cases as shown here at the Milimani Law Courts, whereby today we are following up on the murder case that involved one Mwenga who was murdered 3 weeks ago, and today the case was being heard. The hearing was going on virtually, and here at the Milimani Law Courts.
All right, we now cross over and take you to Kiambu County, where the Governor, James Nyoro, has terminated the services of a section of the Kiambu County Municipality Board, citing what he terms as them not being qualified for the role as per the requirement of the law. Nyoro says a section of the board lacked the skills and capacity required by the World Bank to ensure proper governance. The governor says most of the members serving in 6 municipalities within Kiambu were handpicked by his predecessor without following due process. He, however, said they will be redeployed to work in other areas. The new board is expected to serve under the supportive program funded by the World Bank.
Recruiting new board members following the law. The law is very clear on who becomes board members, including the representation from business community, the representation from the private sector, and so on.
And in West Pokot County, the governor, Professor John Lonyangapuo, is threatening to lobby for the closure of the region's KANU party branch. Lonyangapuo termed the expulsion of 4 nominated members of the county assembly by the KANU party as unfortunate. He is also accusing the party of failing to support local KANU leaders in their political quest. Take a look. The move to expel 4 West Pokot nominated members of the county assembly by the KANU party seems to have ignited political differences between the party's leadership and a section of political leaders in the region. The 4 nominated female members of the county assembly were dismissed of alleged misconduct and failure to adhere to the party guidelines, a move that has been faulted by the West Pokot Governor Professor John Lonyangapuo, who has termed it as unfortunate.
Hapo sasa wamekusa kona mbaya. Sisi ndio tulifanya campaign, tukauza mali yetu, ndio tukapata watu wa kusimamia sisi pande hii, tukapata hata nomination. Ati mtu ya account nyingine akuja afute. Sanata na sign nomination na disqualification letters. Sanata na wako Bomet. Hakuna mtu ya KANU hata mmoja. Hata ile anasimamia deep. Huko kwao hakuna. KANU yote imejaa West Pokot mpaka nafuka tayari imejaa. Alafu sasa unachelewa kukosa kazi. Unakuja kufuta watu yangu bwana.
Lonyangapuo, who is a member of KANU, has also said that the party's West Pokot branch may soon close shop, accusing it of failure to support leaders who are members of the party.
Salat na Gideon, usiwache mbachao kwa msala upitao. Sisi hapa ndio KANU, nyinyi ni majina huko. Kama umeamua kufuta, tukutane 2022. Na mtuambie KANU itapatikana wapi.
Lonyangapuo was speaking at a peace meeting in Takaiwa along River Kerio that borders Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet and West Pokot counties, where he was joined by other leaders in urging the residents to embrace peace so as to foster development at the border points.
Mungu ametusaidia kujenga amani kati ya Pokot na Marakwet. Na saa hii wa Marakwet na wa Pokot wanaishi bila kuokopa. Kila mtu anaishi pamoja na jirani yake, wanatembeleana, wananunua vitu yao. Miujiza ngine ya jambo ambayo ilifanyika ni kwamba Turkana na Pokot siku hizi wanaishi kwa pamoja, especially kati ya Pokot, West Pokot County na Turkana County. Wanaishi vizuri.
During the forum, 4 cows that had been stolen from Tiati sub-county and later recovered in Turkana County were returned to the owner by Sigor Member of Parliament Peter Lochakapong. The leaders hailed the efforts made by the security teams in taming cattle rustling, calling for more peace awareness initiatives to be conducted.
Tunataka kushukuru wale ambao walihusika kurudisha ng'ombe hawa. Watu wangu wa Sigor ama Pokot Central sub-county na wale watu wa Turkana South, wale kumidia amani na wale ambao wanahusika na mambo ya security. Nataka niseme asanteni sana, kwa sababu hii ni ishara ya kwamba sasa mambo ya amani tunaanza kudumisha, kwa sababu haijakuwa rahisi kwamba kama kuna ng'ombe imeenda upande wa Turkana ati imewahi rudi. So for this nataka ni appreciate na nishukuru kila mtu alihusika.
All right, I'd like to appreciate those of you who've created time to join us. Robert Koros, Gushin MC, Kerry Esteri, and Thaddeus Shome, Kiprotich Festus Lagat, and Misty Hortis. Thank you so much for creating time. I'll be sampling some of your views as we proceed with this particular broadcast. But for now, allow us to take a very short break. By the way, we are streaming this live on Facebook and on YouTube. So carry us along with you. See you after this particular break.
Hello? Dude, United on fire. United? Rashford is unstoppable.
Tell me you have
DSTV, Eddie. Do you know that I get more than 20 live matches on any given week from the best leagues in the world? La Liga, Serie A, the Champions League, the Premier League.
Oh, what about that?
Do you have Premier League?
No, we don't have that.
Eddie, if you're going to spend
your money,
spraying it on the best football in the world.
Dial *423# to buy a DSTV HD decoder for only 1,999 shillings.
Gear up and maintain a healthy, fit and active lifestyle right there at home by keeping up with Gear Up on Channel 1, 5:30 to 6 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Gear Up every day for every moment, and remember to stay home and keep safe.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
I will sleep when I'm dead.
Don't you dare tell me how to heal my daughter, Wanjala.
So all this while you never loved any of us? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
And why are you so bothered anyway? Isn't your rich Ugandan tycoon enough for you?
I loved all of you. Tulia.
Jimmy. Nataka ule Jimmy alikuwa ananipush hard, unaona?
Lazima usikize akili yako na mwili wako.
Hakuna tumbaya na akili yangu na mwili yangu. I need you to push me.
Jimmy. Ebu kuja hapa haraka saa hizi ama nikuue.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. I now take you to Migori County. A section of the youth within the county are demanding sobriety in the ongoing debate on the planned impeachment of Governor Okoth Obado. The youth under the Migori Youth Council have challenged the governor to follow the law and step aside as ordered by the court. At the same time, they are cautioning against political grandstanding, calling on ODM party to deal with its party affairs for the sake of continued service delivery. At the same time, they called on the youth in the region to remain calm as the issue is being sorted. ODM has since called for the impeachment of the governor ahead of the resumption of the county assembly sittings on Tuesday.
Bravo, 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 power, power, Migori power, Migori power, Migori power, Migori tialala, TV, tialala.
You are an elected leader and you're in the office and you've been charged, or the allegations about you stealing from public coffers, resign or leave the office.
The MCA should also not be involved in this gimmick that we are seeing. They are saying they are being intimidated. Who's intimidating them? They have been elected by the people of Migori, and they should take their charge. They should take their position and do the oversight. If you are the party and you are saying that ODM has taken a position on this, why are you wasting our time? Why are you showing a lot of gimmicks and a lot of shady shows? You have the right to do your mandate.
Now, as the effects of the coronavirus pandemic continue to take a toll on Kenyans, 3 Little Sisters of the Poor Orphanage for Elderly Persons in Tudor, Mombasa County, are appealing for financial assistance to enable them cater for elderly persons confined in their institution. The orphanage can no longer feed or cater for medical bills for the elderly owing to the economic effects of the pandemic.
Receiving donations from well-wishers, Sister Grace Kenywa, a non-caretaker at the institution, said the orphanage cannot afford to provide the much-needed care to the elderly due to lack of funds. Kenywa said they used to move out of their home to beg for food and money in the streets, but they have been confined in the home, and their movement out has been curtailed by the COVID-19 pandemic. The nun now says that the home, which has about 70 elderly people, has been forced to operate on a shoestring budget as it heavily relies on donations from well-wishers to stay afloat. According to Sister Grace, the home is in dire need of financial assistance to cater to medications of the elderly people, with some suffering from diabetes and cancer.
We have people who are suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, we have several cancer patients. All this, they need medicine, they take medication every day. So if there is somebody there outside who would like to help us, You are always welcome.
In the meantime, a group of residents from impoverished families in Thika, Kiambu County have petitioned the government to expedite the arrest and prosecution of those who misappropriated COVID-19 funds. They want the government to ensure all persons involved in the alleged embezzlement of funds meant for COVID-19 response measures brought to justice. The residents from the sprawling Athena and Kiganjo slums maintained those who embezzled millions of dollars from the Ministry of Health's coffers cannot be allowed to walk scot-free after causing death, suffering, confusion and anxiety among Kenyans.
Sasa hii pesa ya COVID inakuliwa na watu wako viti ya juu. Hao watu wako na kazi, wako na pesa, lakini wanataka kufikia hii kitu kidogo ile inasaidia watu wasiumie sana.
Ningeomba serikali ifuatilie hiyo mambo, imake sure hizo pesa zimepatikana na zimerudishwa, ndio sifanye kazi yenye inastahili. Juu watu wanaumia kusema ukweli.
Separately, Kuria West residents in Migori County are faulting the area MP Mathias Robi for allegedly declaring the country is now COVID-19 free. The legislator allegedly condemned the Ministry of Health for allegedly duping Kenyans on the statistics from COVID-19.
Kile kitendo ambacho mbunge wa hapa Kuria West alifanya siku 3 zilizopita kuja kukanusha kwamba hakuna COVID Kenya, kwamba ni mambo ya ulaghai. Hiyo nataka kusema kwamba hiyo ilikuwa ni porojo yake kama mtu binafsi, sio watu wa Kuria.
Tunalaani kitendo hicho cha mtu kusema kwamba hakuna corona Kuria. Hiyo ni mambo ambayo tunarudia kusema kwamba tunailaani.
Beatrice Getonyenge-Tich, Channel 1 News.
And the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution is set to withdraw a 50 million shillings case against former Presbyterian Church of Eastern Africa moderator David Gathanju and 2 others. This is after the complainant in the case, Peter Kania, died of COVID-19 related complications. According to the prosecution, the 2 sides had reached a consensus before the complainant passed away.
The move by the DPP to terminate a case under Section 87 of the Constitution has been met with opposition from the defense team of the late Peter Kania. Prosecution counsel Donex Ongila told Kiambu Chief Magistrate Patricia Gishohi that he had received instructions to withdraw the case against Gathanju, James Njane and Peter Kamuthu under Section 87A of the Constitution. The prosecution further claims the decision to withdraw the case comes 2 months after the complainant in the case, Peter Kania, died of COVID-19 pandemic, and that the 2 opposing sides had reached a consensus. The defense lawyers, however, opposed the bid by the DPP to withdraw the case under Section 87A, claiming the DPP is inviting the court to make a ruling on a case that was already before another court. According to the defense, the said application by ODPP to withdraw the case should be made before the court that has been handling the case.
You only withdraw pending further investigations or pending looking for more evidence or pending availability of the complainant. The complainant is dead. We have demanded a total termination of this matter. We have objected. The court has agreed with us that this matter cannot be dealt with a court holding brief for the other court.
The Chief Magistrate ordered the application by the DPP to be heard in trial court on September 25th and thereafter make a ruling on the matter. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Thank you, Gladys, for that report. Now, moving on, a section of youth in Kiambu County want the county bosses to account for all the monies received from the exchequer before threatening to close counties for lack of funding. The group claims governors must account for billions of monies allocated to the counties, even as they seek more funds to battle the coronavirus pandemic.
A week after governors through the Council of Governors threatened to shut down counties in 2 weeks and send staff on leave if Senate failed to reach a consensus on revenue allocation formula, a section of youth from Kiambu County have accused county bosses of hypocrisy, claiming billions of shillings from the exchequer remain unaccounted for. Yet governors still want more funds.
We are perplexed, actually. We are saddened by the threat
being laid by Council of Governors to shut down our counties. And we are wondering where we are going to get services that the common mwananchi gets from those particular counties. Yet, we are paying taxes to sustain our development.
The group led by Anthony Njuguna says in as much as counties are advocating for more funding, governors should also be put to task to account for billions of shillings received from the national government, as well as monies they collect as levies from counties. The youthful leader said should governors make good their threat, citizens have a constitutional right to push for dissolution of counties and pave way for fresh leadership.
Sisi Wanjiku ni sisi tuliwachagua, tukawapa mamlaka ya kuwa governors. Wamerudi kwetu na kutuuliza kama ni vizuri kuvunja ama kuvutilia mbali hizi county government. Kwa hivyo wajue sisi tumeweka pale na sisi tunatazama, na kama watatumia mamlaka vibaya, sisi tuna uwezo, sisi tuna nguvu ya kikatiba ya kuweza kuwaita na kurecall the county governments na tuende kwa elections ama tukae bila hizi serikali up to 2022.
That Senate hasten this particular process of hearing. And we are saying 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling is the only way out.
The group, which is also in support of 1 man, 1 vote shillings in the revenue allocation, also called on the Senate to resolve the revenue allocation impasse and ensure the disbursement was commensurate with the number of people in a particular region. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
All right, and as the revenue allocation formula stalemate continues, here's how an artist in Kisii County thinks talent can be used to change the world. And artists have been challenged actually to use their talents to sensitize against ills in the society. Social political rapper Jim Nyakungi, whose stage name is Small Lethal, appealed to artists to use their influence to talk on issues affecting the society with a view of prompting behavior change.
Corruption, tribalism and racism, among other social vices, have been cited as contributors to slow economic growth in the country. It is for this reason that social political rapper Jim Nyakundi has come out to call on fellow artists to raise their voices against the vices. Speaking in Kisii Town, Kisii County, where he launched his song to Mekubali in the album Leaders of Today, Nyakundi urged artists in the region to stop fighting over minor issues and speak out boldly about vices bedeviling the country.
Never be afraid to speak your mind, because the moment you go silent about things that matter is when you start to die. Yeah. Unajua, so watu wasinyamaze, ongea.
Nyakundi, who was arrested in the past of a particular song, said nothing will deter him from speaking the truth and urged the local artists to borrow a leaf from their Bomet County counterparts who had partnered with the Kenya Film Classification Board and county government to establish an entertainment hub.
Wasanii wengine pia wakamu wenye wanaongea ukweli. We will open up njia za wasanii wengi, za watu wengi wenye wasikiki. Unajua watu wa mitaani. And my past experience ime-impact community pakubwa sana. Barabara zimejengwa. Stadium tena wamekuja wame-upgrade. Unajua, markets wameanza kuangalia the same things I talked about. Kwa hiyo song, same things have happened positively, vitu zinafanyika, constructions, nini, unajua.
The artist launched his new song online due to COVID-19 disease limitations on gatherings. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
He's called Small Lethal. Interesting name there. All the best to that young rapper from Kisii County. Now, a family in Kiwanjani, Isiolo County, is appealing for help following a bandit attack that left the sole breadwinner incapacitated while his visually impaired wife is unable to provide for the family. The man who was the breadwinner was attacked by bandits and was admitted in hospital for 2 months. He has since been discharged but is paralyzed and requires constant care.
According to Emily Wanja, her husband Douglas Mithika, who is a border rider, left for work on 12th July but failed to return that evening. He was found the following morning lying unconscious by the roadside near his home with severe head injuries believed to have been inflicted by criminals who have been terrorizing residents around Isiolo Airport. She says since then, Mithika has been receiving treatment at the Isiolo County Referral Hospital until 2 weeks ago when he was discharged, albeit with serious repercussions.
Wanjana macho, huyo bwanake ndiye alikuwa anamsaidia, ana kitu chochote. Sisi ndio huwa tunamsaidia tukipata, tukikosa. tunakaa hivyo.
She notes that the husband can no longer talk or do anything by himself. He is fed and bathed. This, she says, is a double tragedy for the family who were ejected from the rental house they have been living in owing to rent arrears. A neighbor offered a small wooden house where Wanja now houses her 2 boys, while Mithika lives with one of his brothers. The young family now fully depends on their neighbors for food since the attack.
Akona mtoto mmoja wa class 1 na mwingine January anaelekea shule, ana uwezo wowote na hakuna mwenye anamsaidia.
A neighbor, Belinda Karambo, appealed to the government and the National Council for People Living with Disabilities to intervene and ensure that the young family gets the much needed help.
Tukipata tu yenye tunapata, si wenyewe tunafanya vibarua. Tukipata tukikosa tunakaa hivyo. Sasa naomba tu serikali, yani vile inaweza tu imsaidia hata na chakula, na hiyo pesa ambayo walemavu wanasaidiwa nayo apate msaada.
Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Channel 1 News.
Really sad incident there. We call for your generous giving just to assist in the plight of this particular family. Now, away from that, we want to focus on the global outlook on the coronavirus cases. The United Kingdom has confirmed 2,988 new coronavirus cases, its highest number since May 23rd. United Kingdom Health Secretary Matt Hancock says it is concerning that coronavirus cases in the country are on the rise. Over 27 million people across the world have been diagnosed with COVID-19, according to data from Johns Hopkins University.
The Kingdom has seen an upward trajectory in the number of coronavirus cases, with 2,988 fresh cases reported, the highest since 23rd of May. The cases that are predominantly among younger people, according to the UK Health Secretary, are a major concern. Meanwhile, India's coronavirus infections have surged past 4.2 million on Monday as it overtook Brazil to become the country with the second highest number of cases. This makes India the second worst hit country by the global pandemic after the United States. South Korea has reported 119 new cases, with 2 people dying from the pandemic. China has had 12 new cases, with no one succumbing to the pandemic. In Ukraine, however, there has been a rise in reported cases as the country has confirmed 2,174 new cases and 31 deaths. Australia has had 43 new cases and 9 deaths. In Russia, the new cases are stand at 5,131, with the death cases standing at 51. Since the first case of coronavirus was reported, over 27 million people have been diagnosed with the disease, with over 8 million people succumbing to the illness. 19 million people have been reported to have recovered from the disease, according to data from the Johns Hopkins University. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
And the latest in the world of business, we begin with some good news for tea farmers in the country. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya has cautioned Kenya Tea Development Agency from inciting its members against the proposed tea regulations. Agriculture CS Peter Munya argues that digitization of the tea auction process means more money to the farmers, owing to its transparency that will effectively lock out cartels that have for long exploited poor farmers.
Speaking in Murang'a, Agriculture CS Munya blamed the Kenya Tea Development Agency for misinformation fed to farmers on the proposed tea regulations, terming the agency's views on the framework as propaganda.
Kutoka tuweke regulations na chai ikaanza kuuzwa nyingi huko, prices have been going up. Kwa hivyo, hiyo propaganda ya kutuambia ati chai itaanguka ikienda yote kwa auction ni msaa.
He alleged that the method the agency has been using to sell tea is flawed, leaving farmers at the mercy of exploitative cartels.
Ile mambo ya kuuza chai chini ya meza. Hiyo inaitwa private treaty. Hiyo tumekataa, tukaweka regulation, chai yote iende kwa auction. Kwa saa hii wana control hiyo auction, ndio prices iwe chini, ndio wakanunue kule nje.
However, the tea agency says the proposed tea reforms are designed to bring down stable small-scale tea farmer industry in Kenya. They want the timelines revoked and a consultative process involving all stakeholders kick-started. The regulations are to be factored in the tea bill currently before Parliament so as to ensure the operations and marketing of tea is under a government policy after determination of an ongoing court case.
Hawa directors wanasema hakuna bonus mwaka huu. Na unashindwa bonus imeenda wapi na miaka hiyo ingine inaenda wapi? Majani chai hawakutupatia fertilizer. Walisema hiyo fertilizer ati iko na COVID, hakuna COVID inakuja. Sisi tunangoja tea regulations, technical committee ipatio nguvu ndio tukuje tuchaguane as per the tea regulations.
If passed, CS Munya noted that under the new dispensation, farmers would be assured of minimum price range despite global fluctuation prices. Stakeholders have lauded the newly proposed changes that include digitization of the auction, saying if well implemented, they will enrich farmers.
Na sasa hii regulations za Munya inatukujia sisi kama wakulima ndio tukue na faida na imulike KTDA vile inafanyaga, kwa sababu wanatumia hizo pesa kununua wakulima. Kwa unyonge wa mkulima ndio wanachukua hiyo nafasi.
Hata majani na kahawa inafaa kuwa na ministry yake. Kwa hivyo tukiangalia hata kama ni maneno ya fertilizer, kama wakulima wale wengine wanapewa fertilizer, wakulima wa mahindi haileti pesa nyingi kama majani chai. Hata wakulima wetu wapewe fertilizer na serikali.
Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
And troubled retailer TUSKYS has relaunched its business after securing funding from undisclosed investors. The company says the exercise will see all the 53 branches rebranded to improve customer confidence. Head of Business Development John Muitiriri says the company has also struck a deal with suppliers that will see all branches restocked.
The family-owned retailer has been teetering on the brink of closure due to mounting debt, failing supplier confidence and dwindling financial trust to replenish essential items on the shelves, leading to empty shops. However, last month, the company said it had secured funding from private investors in a major reprieve to the owners and debtors. The retailer has announced a major rebranding exercise that will see all its aging 53 branches get a facelift.
We've really stocked up this store, and not only this store, but this is an exercise that we are doing across all our stores in the country. And for this reason, we are going around the counties just to ensure that we're able to relaunch and being able to convince our shoppers that we are back to back. We are calling our campaign the back-to-back campaign.
Head of Business Development John Muitiriri says the company has also struck a deal with suppliers that will see all branches restocked. Over the weekend, the company relaunched Kilifi and Malindi TUSKYS retail stores as part of their move to bring back confidence to their clients.
And remember that when you look at retail business, in terms of some key expenditures, talk of rent, talk of staff salaries, these are constant. And when the disposable income happens and there is less spending, of course, a business tends to shake a bit.
The company has lost significant clout to rivals, Naivas and Newcomer Equipment, which has been on an expansion countrywide. Last month, the company embarked on a new recovery plan that guarantees prompt payments for stock supplied. Sales registered via the new suppliers portal enjoy end-to-end protection, and the funds can only be used to settle supplier dues on a priority basis. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Lower liquidity in the money markets and investors opting for better yielding treasury bonds led to an underdescription of both T-bills and T-bonds in August in comparison to previous month. August recorded lower subscription rates at 80% for T-bills and 123% for T-bonds, down from 243% and 303% respectively in June.
The T-bills under subscription has been attributed to, among others, investors' appetite for bonds which are offering more attractive yields and also have short-term paper on offer. According to Citon's latest report during the month in review, Treasury opened a tap sale of a 20-year-old bond with an effective tenure of 18 years. The issue was oversubscribed, with the subscription rate coming at 100.7%, and the whole amount was accepted, with government receiving bids worth 40.3 billion shillings, higher than the 40 billion shillings offered, mainly attributable to the high liquidity in the money markets. The yield on the bond came in at 12.9%. Overall, investment experts warn that the dip in demand for short-term government securities is likely to lead to upward pressure on yields in upcoming auctions. In the new month, Treasury has floated triple issues with effective tenures of 5.3, 14.5 and 10.7 years respectively, for a total value of 50 billion shillings for budgetary support. The bonds have coupon rates of 9%, 12.8% and 10% respectively, with the period of sale set to end on the 15th of September 2020. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Thank you, Regina Manyara, for that report. Now, we focus on what is happening elsewhere in the continent of Africa. Economists expect South African economy to enter into deeper than expected recession due to COVID-19 and crippling power shortages. Statistics South Africa will tomorrow release data showing how COVID-19 lockdown decimated the economy in the 3 months to June. Elsewhere, single currency, COVID-19 and regional security is on top of the agenda as ECOWAS leaders meet today in Niger. Details in our Africa Business News Roundup.
The South African economy was already in a technical recession in March this year, slumping by 2% in the first quarter following 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. The release of the second quarter GDP figures will precede the release of the second quarter's job figures, which were delayed by COVID-19 restrictions. Economists at FNB said the economy might have shrunk by almost 50% in the second quarter compared with the same period last year. FNB economists said their high-frequency nowcast model anticipated that GDP contracted by a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 47.3% quarter-on-quarter. There are also fears that Eskom's power cuts could hamper the slight economic rebound expected in the third quarter and leave the economy battered for the rest of the year. Elsewhere, leaders of the economic community of West African states head for Niamey, Niger Republic, to participate in the 57th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government to consider reports on several issues. The summit is expected to receive the report on the ECOWAS single currency program to be presented by President Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone and chair of the Authority of Heads of States. The economic community of West African states had agreed to embrace the ECO as its single currency for the 15 countries within the community, with a deadline set for 2020. The summit will attempt to resolve the dispute and find a pathway around the ECOWAS single currency crisis. Finally, telecommunications giant MTN Ghana has moved to the Supreme Court seeking a review of the High Court's ruling that quashed its suit against the National Communications Authority's declaration of the network as a significant market power. In a statement issued on September 5th, MTN said it filed papers on Friday, September 4th at the Supreme Court after a careful review of the court's judgment. On September 1st, 2020, the High Court of Justice dismissed the company's application for a judicial review of the declaration by the NCA of MTN Ghana as an SMP.
And in the world of sports, Germany's wait for their first Nations League win goes on after they were held to a draw by Switzerland in Basel. Meanwhile, Ansu Fati broke a 95-year national record to become Spain's youngest goal scorer at the age of 17 years and 311 days against Ukraine. Fati is also the youngest goal scorer in Champions League history and Barcelona's youngest scorer in La Liga. Manchester City players Riyad Mahrez and Aymeric Laporte have both tested positive for coronavirus. Both players are currently observing a period of self-isolation in accordance with the Premier League and UK government protocol. Neither Mahrez and Laporte is displaying symptoms of the virus. In a statement, City says the club wishes Mahrez and Laporte a speedy recovery ahead of their return to training and the new season. City's first game of the new season is away at Wolves on September 21st. Campaigners against female genital mutilation say the coronavirus pandemic has derailed Kenya's efforts towards ending retrogressive practice amid reports of mass cuttings during this period that schools are closed. It is against this backdrop that a group of men in Torioko village in Baringo County have emerged as champions of the anti-FGM sensitization campaign in the area. Purity Museo reports.
The ongoing coronavirus pandemic has created perfect conditions for proponents of female genital mutilation and early marriages to carry out their motives. Closure of schools has catalyzed an act criminalized by Kenya in 2011. Against the grim backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic, in Torioko location, Baringo County.
Huyu ni mtoto wanafiatua yote na kumaliza na kunyang'anya.
Carlos Kapkoikat, the area chief, is carrying out a mentorship session. The meeting is being held under the shade of a tree in compliance of the social distancing protocol. Kapkoikat is an anti-female genital mutilation advocate who has received recognition for his efforts to fight the deep-rooted retrogressive cultural practice.
Wakati msichana ameanza kupale hivi, unaona msichana anafitiniwa na mama ama baba kwamba umekuwa msichana, umekuwa mkubwa, sasa nitakana uende utairiwe. Na katika hali hiyo tumeweza kupoteza wasichana wengi katika hali ya kutairiwa. Once ukiona msichana ametairiwa hivi ni kama indicator ya kuonyesha ametosheka kuolewa.
Through his advocacy work in partnership with an international Christian humanitarian organization, World Vision Kenya, Kapkoikat has saved hundreds of girls from FGM and kept them in school.
Mimi tangu niwe chief katika area hii ya Torioko nimeweza kuwakamata na kuwashika wenye wanatairi watoto, wenye wamewahi patikana na vitu kama fisu, ile ya kukeketachi, wenye wameweza kupeana mahali pa kwao kuwa ni mahali pa kufanya sherehe na kukunywa pombe na burudani, tumeweza kuingisha ndani.
He has also successfully persuaded most men to lead sensitization campaigns against the outlawed practice.
Niliona si mzuri kukeketa hii watoto. Sasa hii ya darasa la 8 iko sawa, yule amemaliza secondary iko sawa, yule mwingine tena, watoto yangu yote iko sawa. Wale keketwa hata wengine hakusaa mzuri.
Ile watoto wangu watafaidika ni vile wataenda shule, wasichana kwa fulana. Ya pili, kuna uzuri ya hiyo kitu, sababu mtoto asipotairiwa anajifungua vizuri, hana shida yoyote.
Emmanuel Akorilima is a single father of 7, 4 girls and 3 boys. He is aware that besides causing severe pain, FGM has serious short and long-term health complications.
Nakatayo kitu kabisa na inaelewa kuhusu tangu mwanzo hata. Kwa hivyo kwa pia hiyo kuna madhara mengi tena. Kuna mtoto kuvujika damu, kuna tena hata ya kusaa ni shida.
He is determined to put all his children, regardless of gender, through school.
Hiyo mambo ya kutairiwa imekataliwa. Kwa hivyo hiyo hakuna kwa hii familia. Na kwamba kwanza usome shule, uende shule mpaka umalize. Kwa hivyo hiyo mambo ya hiyo mimi siwe sana naye na sitakubali.
Thanks to the involvement of local administrators, religious leaders, as well-meaning individuals and organizations, the anti-FGM campaign is now firmly grounded in the grassroots. I am a reformed circumciser. I regret practicing FGM.
Alafu yale tunafundisha wale vijana vijana tunafundisha kulingana na maisha ya wakati huu, ya kwamba ini wakati wa kutafuta kwa upande wa masomo.
The government is determined to end female genital mutilation by 2022, but women and girls' rights groups say it may be impossible. They cite financial hardship for most families during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially in regions of the country where the culture is still alive.
When girls are exposed to FGM and boys to Moranism, what happens is that after FGM, they are allowed to engage in teenage sex, which leads to child pregnancies and just having children at a young age. They are also exposed to health complications, and as a result, they cannot be able to actually go to school. And of course, after that initiation, they are actually looked as adults. So they are ready for marriage. Some are actually betrothed to get married immediately.
The World Health Organization estimates at least 200 million girls and women alive today in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia have undergone the female genital mutilation, FGM, the partial or total removal of the external female genitalia, also known as cutting. Purity Museo, Channel 1 News, in Tirioko location, Baringo County.
By that eradicating female genital mutilation in the country. We celebrate those champions, and everyone is just advocating for the rights of the girl child and women in the country. We now are wrapping up. I appreciate Emil Wafula. Thank you for your compliment. Justine Pechodo Chiro, David Wambugu, you're watching from Nyandarua, Shuriri. Is it Shuriri or Churiri? Help me there. But Kilian Mutua, Dismas Mwaniki, and Bildad Bari, Duncan Kap Koban, Jairas Mukwana, and Kevin Marsh. Thank you so much, all of you, for creating time for KBC Lunchtime News. We are now wrapping up. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and catch us again for the latest happenings at our subsequent news bulletins during Darubini and Channel 1 News Hour.
Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
KBC, in collaboration with the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, is broadcasting enhanced out-of-class learning on radio, television and online. Catch the lessons every weekday on KBC Channel 1 from 2 to 4 p.m, on KBC English Service and 15 FM from 9:15 a.m. to 5 p.m, and Radio Taifa from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. KBC English Service, Radio Taifa and 15 FM are also available countrywide on the free-to-air Signet digital TV platform, or log on to www.kbc.co.ke for live streaming, or download the KBC online app on Google Play Store. Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, ensuring learning no matter what.
People gonna say all kind of things about you. With them on, just shake up. Need to mush you and done to mush you. When your booty got show me now. Baby, one time, bossy baby, give me 2 times. Full 180, crazy. Let's go. Ha, I needed some with some bop in it. Mamacita, where you at? I've been trying to reach you. Choro, 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 choro. Katoto shepu awe, ayawe, ayawe. Tekenya katoto, kamini tekenya, tekenya katoto.
Raya, hii ni kwa matiche wote. Please, do not confuse the government. Usianza kufinya ile kitu inasema more fire, ama ile ya the roof is on fire. Ama unaanza kusema we are killing this party, ama the party is just a bomb. We are having a...
Kupata Karau na DJ, bonyeza *811 *816#. Bonyeza *811 *816#.
People of the 254 and beyond.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, the legendary show is on, baby.
Absolutely. Music concert.